Thank you, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to present the work we've been working on for the last 18 months. Around about 18 months ago, we hooked up with Jadu, partnered with Jadu to replace our website. Is this still being streamed? So I can kind of say what I please. Good. So our old website was absolutely rubbish. It was shocking. It was horrendous. There was about 4,000 pages on there. One of them was about how to cook an egg. There was one about what to do if you've got problems with your carpet. The first bit of advice was avoid walking on it. So we cut all those pages down to about 400. We went live about 18 months ago, and we've gone from a website that was classed as failing for a number of years to one that won an award for the most improved site in local government in the last 12 months. So it was a massive improvement from where we were. Based on that, I was asked to lead on the business change team that we set up in March, which was quite a nice moment because that made me feel like I wasn't part of the madness, but still aware of the madness after being there for 20 years. So it was quite a nice feeling to know I hadn't become part of the madness that goes on in some of our service areas at the moment. So we set up a small team. We've got two senior business analysts, two business analysts, a project manager and project support. And we are working with the service areas across the council to create efficient processes, reduce avoidable contact for the contact centre and the service areas, reduce handling of data in service areas through automation, which is really nice to see the chatbot stuff coming through, because I think that'll be a big bonus for us when that goes live. Promote take-up of existing and new digital services and provide 24/7 access to digital services. We are currently working with a number of service areas, very small team, and we were set a challenging target for the first phase, and I think it was a case of go and prove that you can deliver, and then we might extend the programme. But they've given us until March 2019 to work with highways, housing, waste, planning, customer feedback, member services, green space and street care, or environmental as it used to be known, social care and public protection. So some challenging areas there, and we're starting from quite a low base technology-wise and in the way that we deliver some of our services, so there's a lot of work to do with those areas. So since March, we've been working on improving the customer experience with those areas, and we've introduced the new easy-to-use form. So basically, the mantra is we try and keep it down to one page for the main things that we need to report using the forms builder. So we've done new forms for fly tipping, litter, graffiti, report fraud and potholes. Report fraud wasn't a big hitter, it was just a pet hate of our city director who wanted us to get in that first phase. But it has worked, and it is showing some impact. But we're using the pin drop on the map and just keeping things really, really simple. And if you're all signed in, it pulls through the details in your My Account, so you don't have to re-enter the details. We've also been introducing CXM in those same areas, so that customers can get status updates and feedback. So we've got CXM, we've got a new My Account, we've got a mobile app that I'll come on to shortly. But this has all been since March, and we've tried to get things delivered as quickly as possible. So it's been a great help having Jadu working with us in the background for us to call whenever we've needed to get some of this new functionality in place. As part of the CXM, we realised when we put the website live that we introduced a number of new forms, but we weren't really shifting any of the demand from the contact centre. All we were doing was moving the call. So people would submit a form, and then it'd fall into a black hole. You'd never hear anything about it again. So you just move the call from the initial call to a chasing call. So this is where CXM has been really, really important for us, where we've introduced the status updates. You now get a status update in the My Account when you've submitted a request. You get a status update when it's been allocated to an operative, and you get a status update to say that it's been dealt with. Or we can now contact the resident through the message function in CXM to say we need a bit further information, and we can automate messages like that. So that's been really, really useful for us, and we've been seen some great impacts with the fly tipping teams and the litter teams on how that's working with the residents. We've been getting some really positive comments from residents as well about how that's working. We had a really nice comment off a lady that messaged in, and I checked her Twitter feed, and every other comment was giving the council grief, but she was really pleased about this. So it was a nice feature to see that we were actually improving things there. The mobile app I mentioned earlier, our city director wanted a mobile app for Christmas. He was really keen on getting this new mobile app in, so we started in March. So I thought, this is going to be a big ask if we're working with all these different areas. So we took a step back and thought, well, why do we want to stick another form in front of a form that's already mobile responsive with the Jadu solution? So what we've basically done is skinned the web, but we've targeted the key service requests that residents may wish to report on. So it's your fly tipping, litter, graffiti, potholes, and then we've put a tile on there for other services that actually takes you through to the website. But it's made it really easy for residents because those key, and making a payment and things like that, but the key things that they want to report, they can go instantly to without searching the website just by hitting the tile. But it's worked really well because we've got the mobile responsive forms. So we've just skinned that, and some might say it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors, but why put a form in front of a form when you've already got a set of forms that work? And we've seen a really, really positive response to that. I checked the figures this morning. That's now gone up to nearly 2,000 registrations in under a month. It's enabled us with the new My Account that we've put in place to get over 3,000 hits on that. We've now got, I think this morning I checked again, nearly 6,000 registered on the My Account. Make a Payment is making up around about 60% of the transactions that are going through. So that's, again, saving calls that are coming through. People checking the bin day. I often wonder how people do forget when the bin day is, because mine's collected every 2 weeks on the same day, but they do, and they do like to check. We're getting a lot through for making appointments with registrars, and housing repairs has also been really popular. Surprisingly, I expected potholes and things like that to be higher up the list, but it seems to be that a lot of people are using it for making a payment, which is great. We're getting income back into the authority. The My Account that we set up, we did a lot of work with both Jadu and Northgate on setting up the single sign-on to council tax benefits and business rates. So when you go into the My Account, it's literally, there's a widget on there for those services. The first time you go in, you just have to provide a bit of extra information in Northgate around your council tax reference number, which is on the bill. A little bit extra security there, but you only need to do that once, and then afterwards, when you sign into your My Account, it's just a click and you're straight through, and you can see your council tax balances. You can sign up for e-bills, and it's the same with the benefits functionality as well, and in business rates it's all single sign-on. It's working extremely well. We've got around about 1,200 people that have upgraded the council tax account, and about 600 at the moment that have signed up for e-bills. So every time somebody signs up for an e-bill, that's saving us money because we're not having to send paper bills out. And we're about to embark on some marketing around the e-bills to try and boost those numbers up. We want to get those numbers up into the thousands, so we're not sending out paper bills. But we've been really impressed with the functionality that's come with that. And like I said, every time somebody signs up for an e-bill, it is saving us money. The fly tipping, litter, graffiti I mentioned, they are in there with the status updates, and you can see the dashboard in the My Account. And you can see when each of those statuses changes from submitted, allocated, and completed. There's the My Bin Day functionality. We've linked the My Account up to Modern Gov, so you can go in based on your location. You can search for who your councillor is, details about ward spend, and the work that the councillors are doing in them particular areas. We are looking next to hook up into the My Account MOT bookings, because we do bookings for not only taxi firms but for the public, and that's using the Jadu forms and integrating into payments and the calendar functionality, so we can get people booking in advance. Bulky waste, again, using the Jadu forms, so people can go online and book bulky waste collections and make appointments there. And the beauty of the My Account as well is you can drop other things into it. that makes it look seamless when perhaps you haven't been able to do the full integration work. So we've got a pothole status tracker that actually sits in another system, but we're going to drop that into the My Account. So when you put your reference number in for the pothole that you've reported, it gives you an instant update of what status that pothole repair is at. But with it being in the My Account, it looks as if it's all part of that setup. And it's the same with registrar's copy certificates. We're working on that at the moment. So there's a lot we've been working on since March. The beauty of having the mobile forms has meant that the app has been a huge success early on. We've only been live. We went live on October the 10th with the app, with My Account, with the single sign-on, with CXM for the fly tipping, litter and graffiti, and we've had over 700 cases reported now in just over a month. And the other beauty of the CXM product that we've put in place is the power of the data that we're getting out of that. So we took the lead from the last academy we attended, so some of the work that Swindon had done. So thank you for that, looking at the stuff that they've done in Power BI. So we've set some reports up that show the fly tipping hotspots, so we can look at postcodes to see where we need to target resource. We can see how many of those reports that we're hitting our performance targets on, the SLAs, how many we're missing. And it's also giving our managers in those service areas better visibility of the teams that they're managing. Before we went into the environmental team, we were literally in a situation where the manager of that team was having to walk round to the area managers with an A4 pad and ask what work was coming in, where the pressures were. Now we've presented him up with the CXM dashboard and these reports that come out of the data that we capture in CXM, and he can now see where the hotspots are, where the pressure points are, how many jobs are coming up to potentially missing the target on the SLA, and he can proactively manage the service rather than reacting to members' enquiries or complaints. So there's a lot that's gone on in the last few months, and we are now moving on to other areas. We're going to start doing a lot of work with social care, doing more work with highways around potholes and repairs and status updates. And we expect it to continue over the next coming months and keep building the improvements in. Like I say, really, really interested in the chatbot stuff that's coming up. I think that's going to be really, really good. And I think we just carry on the way we're going, and we should get to where we need to be in a couple of years, I suspect.